Shalom, Israel. First off, I just want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakah, Kadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say Shalom, peace and blessings to the sincere elect Akim that's pushing the word in sincerity and truth. All through the spirit, I just wanted to just bring out a few scriptures, going into the importance of nationality as it pertains to the scriptures, the Holy Bible, because contrary to popular belief, the Bible is a book of nationality, meaning that every person on the planet Earth, they have a biblical nationality that goes back to the Bible. Now, these so-called Christians would have you believe that the Most High gonna send his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, to just save everybody, man, regardless of who your line or your nationality goes back to. They'll just basically push that deception that race and, race, which they got that whole concept messed up anyway when they try to categorize people by color. But they'll have you believe that race doesn't matter, that the Most High is not dealing with lines and lineages of people. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it's always been, But furthermore, I just wanted to just bring out some scriptures just to qualify this point, because at the end of the day, the Lord, he's only dealing with one nation of people, and that's the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Whether you want to go from Genesis to the book of Revelation, this entire Bible it illustrates the Israelites' point of view of history and all types of different things, man, being in captivity under different enemies for disobedience against their power. You know what I'm saying? Our power. The Israelites' power, that is. You know what I'm saying? But without further ado, I'm going to just go ahead and hit a script. This is in Leviticus chapter 26, and I'll start at verse 45. It says, But I will for their sakes, possessive, it says, but I will for their sakes, whose sakes? The Israelites' sakes. It says, but I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors. So right now, the Most High, he's saying he remembers the covenant that he made with our ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their God. Another possessive pronoun, that I may be their God. I am the Lord. So I wanted to go into this word ancestors in the book of Leviticus 26 and 45. I'm in the Blue Letter Bible, and it's the H7223, and I think it's pronounced Rasha. Hold on, bear with me one moment, brothers. Yeah, Rasha 1, and it says trying to get it to pull up. Bear with me, brothers. But when you go into it, it says, hold on. It says, whether in time, or it says first, whether in time or in order and place or in dignity. It says former days, former times, former prophets. So this is going into that word ancestors in the Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? It's saying basically the first, the former days, former times, former prophets. It says things formerly done. So that's why it's also important to go into the history of our forefathers. You know what I'm saying? The prophets that came before us. That's why the scripture says in Romans the 15th chapter that the things which are written aforetime were written for our learning. So it's important to study the history of your ancestors, man, because the Most High is dealing with nationality. He's not dealing with every nation on the planet, man. He's dealing with a specific group of people, And furthermore, that specific group of people are the nation of Israel, you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just keep going. It says formerly, the first as before. It says aforetime, like I just quoted Romans 15 and 4. But that's just one aspect of it. I'm going to also look up that word because I found the word ancestors in the Edamon. So I'm going to just look it up in the etymology real quick, brothers. Just bear with me. Yeah, man, because people got the Most High messed up, man. Everybody want to establish righteousness and doctrine based on what they feel it should be, man. But when you really go into the scriptures and break these things down, everyone wants to get offended, man. You know? That's why Great Millstone, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, man, we deal with the scripts, man. But this is Ancestor in the Etymon online. It says, one from whom a person is descended. It says ancestry, antecessor, from Old French ancestry, ancestor, or ancestor, ancestor. It says forebear, forefather. So that's the point that I wanted to get. It says forefather. You know what I'm saying? So that's the point right there too, which also shows that your line or your nationality, you know, it's based upon the seed of your forefathers, which I'm going to get that real quick. Just bear with me, brothers. So nationality is determined by the seed of your forefathers. Just bear with me one moment. I'm going to just hit a script. This is in Numbers, the first chapter. And I believe it's around like the 18th verse. Yup. I passed it up, Salakia. This is Numbers. So I just read basically out of the Etymon that ancestor, it basically means your forefathers. So this further proves that, you know, it's no such thing as no maternal lineage, man. We're qualifying your ancestry or your line or your lineage or your nationality or your race, you know. But I'm going to get this. This is Numbers 1 and 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. So here's an example in the scriptures in Numbers. It's saying that they declared their pedigrees. It's talking about the Israelites, you know what I'm saying, by the house of their fathers. You know what I'm saying? Their forefathers, their ancestry. So ancestry is important, man. Your ancestors, your nationality, furthermore, your forefathers, that's important. You know what I'm saying? Because that establishes who you truly are, who you go back to, man. That's how you understand who you really are. And that's why the so-called white man, the Edomites, they don't really want to deal with nationality. You know what I'm saying? They want to just have this just big gumbo of confusion, man. You know? Even though, like, you know, you got all different types of people on the planet that may look a certain type of way. That's why we always go into, man, color is not a determination as to who your nationality is. Even though color and certain physical traits are an indication of who your line may go back to, but ultimately it's based upon the seed of your forefathers, your true ancestry, you know? But I'm going to just hit another script. Just bear with me, brothers. I'm going to go to the book of Job here. Because also I read in the blue letter, when we went into that word for ancestor, it basically means of the former age, basically. And I wanted to back that up with this scripture. This is Job chapter 8, verse 8. It says, "For I inquire, I pray thee of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of thy fathers." So here's what Job is talking about. Basically, studying your ancestry, man. Inquiring about your ancestors, the former age. And it says, furthermore, prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. So Job knew that your ancestry or your ancestors are determined by the seed of your fathers, your forefathers, man. You know? That determines your line, man, who your forefathers go back to. You know? And furthermore, the Israelites' forefathers, you know, they were given the promise from the Most High. So we got a rich heritage, you know, you so-called Negroes and Native Americans, man. You know, here in America and spread throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Even though we've been broken as a nation, you know, through these captivities and ultimately through the curses that it talks about in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, for disobedience against the Most High, man. We have a rich legacy, man, you know. And we're coming into that time where our pure minds are being stirred back to remembrance, man, because we're reaching the time to where our big brother Yahweh Shah is about to redeem us. But the Most High, he's always dealt, you know, with different nations, man, by ancestry, man. So the Lord, he deals with nationality. The Lord's dealing with nationality. The Lord's dealing with races. And chiefly the chief race on the planet is his people, the nation of Israel. I'm going to go to Deuteronomy here. This is Deuteronomy. And it's in 32. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32. And I'll start at verse 8. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at 7. Deuteronomy 32 and 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee. So, just like Job said, you know, I inquire thee for the formative age, to the searching out of your fathers. So it's right here in Deuteronomy 32 and 7. It says, remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Basically, remembering the days of the former age of your forefathers, man. It says, verse 8, here's the point. When the Most High divided to the nations, so it's saying right here in the Holy Bible, the Most High, he divided to the nations their inheritance. When he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. And we know Jacob was later, that name was later changed to Israel. Jacob and Israel, they're the same person. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, you know. But furthermore, like I read in verse 8, the Most High, he divided the nations their own inheritance. So that's another reason why the earth is off course as it is today as well, man, because everyone's out of bounds, man, so to speak. All of the nations, you know what I'm saying, they're not in their proper inheritance, in their proper lot. And furthermore, the Lord's people, they're not in their right land right now. You got those gutter rats, those so-called Jews occupying the Holy Land of Israel right now. That's why it's all types of war and chaos going on in that land. But everything's going to be set back in order when the Lord's people are set back in their inheritance, man. But the point I wanted to get out of that is that the Lord, he divided the nations and he separated everyone according to the sons of Adam, which would later be the Israelites, man, the sons of God, you know. I'm going to go ahead and hit another script. Just further backing up how the Lord, he's only dealing with one nation. All those things like we read about in Romans, the 9th chapter, the promises, the covenants, you know what I'm saying? All of those things are not for all people on the planet Earth, man. They're only for one nation of people. That's the nation of Israel. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's who the Most High has always dealt with, man. Since the beginning of time, since the former age, like I'm going into, man. This is in Psalms. Yup. Spare me real quick. This is way in Psalms 147. Just takes me a little while to navigate through this phone. So Salakia, brothers. But all through the spirit, we'll get the information out. This is Psalms 147 and 19. It says, he showeth his word unto Jacob, which I just stated that Jacob, his name was later changed to Israel. It says, he showeth his word unto Jacob, the Israelites, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as far And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. So we always bring this out, but it's clear, man. The Most High, he only gave his statutes and his word and his judgments unto the nation of Israel, his people. It says he had not dealt so with any other nation, man. You know? So that's why ancestry, that's why nationality, your forefather, lineage, that's important, man. Contrary to popular belief, man. These so-called Christians, the so-called white men, these Edomites would have you believe that that's not the case. But if they're making that argument, that's not a biblical argument. The Most High has always dealt with nationality. You know? And furthermore, he's dealing with his people specifically, man. You know? The nation of Israel is supposed to be that beacon of light to judge all the other nations, man. According to the standard of righteousness that the Most High gave unto us, man, through our forefathers. I'm going to hit another scripture here, and I think I'll close out. You know, I just want to make a quick point, like I said, but just more importantly, just go into that word ancestor and just kind of break these things down, just emphasizing the importance of nationality and your lineage, man, and your forefathers. These things are all, they're important. Yeah, this is Deuteronomy 4 and 5. It says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it. So that's just talking about the nation of Israel. Like I just read in Psalms 147 and 19, that's the only nation who the Most High's law, statutes, commandments, and judgments, and covenants, and promises was given to. Verse 6, it says, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. So all of these other nations, man, just by that standard that was given to our forefathers, if we're supposed to do that, if we're supposed to practice that standard, all these other nations should be able to see how great we are and know that the Most High is only dealing with us, man, and know that we're great and understanding people. We know all through the spirit of the curses, like I referenced in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter earlier, that, you know, because of disobedience, that right now we're looked at as a proverb and a byword and an astonishment amongst all of these different nations, man. But the Most High, he gave us the standard of righteousness to live by, man. Verse 7, it says, for what nation is there so great who hath the Most High? It says, for what nation is there so great who hath the Most High, so not unto them, as the Lord our power is in all things that we call upon him for. So the Most High is a separatist, man. He is choosing, he is showing favoritism, basically, man, because these so-called Christians will have you believe in all of this madness about equality and all nations being equal. Nope, not biblical. The Most High is not dealing with equality as far as the nations are concerned. He has a top nation that he chose for himself to be set up to be judges amongst all these different nations. This is Deuteronomy 4 and 8. It says, and what nation is there so great that hath statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? So that's what makes us a holy people unto the Most High, man, having that standard, that code of conduct of righteousness to live by, which all of these other nations were not given that. So all that was said is to say this, that, man, nationality is important. Your ancestors is important. Your forefathers is important. Your lineage is important, man. You know, so the Lord's only dealing with the nation of Israel furthermore. So with all being said, man, I just hope this was edifying. You know, I just want to, like I said, go into that word ancestor. It basically just means when you go into it of the former age, and then just basically going back to your forefathers. So with all being said, I just want to give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, peace and blessings to you, sincere Akim. Keep pushing this word. Shalom.